See, God's will for us is perfect. God's will for us is excellent. Like, it's marvelous. And that's why the Bible says that see what the Lord has done and it is marvelous in our eyes. Like, you're meant to enjoy God's will. As a Christian, we are meant to enjoy God's will. But most times, we do not enjoy what God has in store for us. Why? Because we want to do things our own way. We want to run our life our own way. And that is not how it is meant to be. No. Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel at Life Through His Lens, a channel which is aimed at revealing God's own thoughts to you. Yeah, and I'll be bringing to you lots of interviews, talks, drama, all in the bid for you to know how God sees life, God's own perspective about life, how God thinks towards mankind, how God views life. Do you understand? So please, if you're viewing this, don't forget to subscribe, click on the notification button, comment, like, and share this video to your friends and family. This is Life Through His Lens. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's God now. It's God that did it. So, I shall know that everything is in God's hands. So, it's God. It's God. Really? Is it truly God, or it is out of your stubbornness? Is it truly God that caused all this calamity, that caused all this commotion, that is causing all this suffering, or it is your stubbornness? This is what I want to talk about today. God's will for us. God's will for us. Many people don't really understand God's will for us, and that's why most times we are very, very quick to actually blame God for things that we actually brought upon ourselves by ourselves. You see, a wise man once said that your greatest mountain, the greatest mountain you will face is yourself. Nobody can bring you things that you don't bring yourself. So it's the earlier you conquer yourself, the better for you. The earlier you conquer yourself, the better for you. Most things that happen to us in this life are things that we brought upon ourselves. These are things that God did not permit, because you hear some people say things like, I'm poor, maybe it's God's will for me to be poor. No. God's will for you, it's not poverty. God's will for you has never been poverty, and it will never be poverty. If you are poor, then you should go back and check what you're not doing right. If you are poor, then that means there are some things that you're not keeping. Like, there are some principles of wealth that you're not keeping. You should go back and check your relationship with people. These are things that you have to know, that God's will for you is not poverty. God cannot make you poor. No, the Bible says that He will perfect everything that concerns us. So the first thing you have to do actually is to change your mindset. Remove this mindset of poverty is God's will, poverty is God's will. Now, am I trying to look at just one side? No. Because actually, truly, there are some people that do not wish to be poor, but then they came into a society that is actually poor. Like, they have tried, and then, like, it seems as if nothing is working out. Now, if you're in such situation, I would not say that, I will not blame you. Like, no, I will not criticize you, but I will tell you that in as much as your hands are complete, your legs are complete, your eyes, you can see, everything is working complete, like everything is working well, then there is something you can do. Go around, check, is it to fry akara? There are lots of things you can do. I know I've seen even a graduate, like I've met a lady who fries very sweet akara. Like, if you taste this lady's akara, and then she speaks fluently, like she speaks correct English, and I was like, oh my God, and I was like, okay, so what is it now? Like, I asked her, she was like, thought she graduated from the university with a first class. But there is no work anywhere. Now, it's possible that she's lying, I don't know, but I know that it is also possible for you to meet people that are like that. People that found themselves in such situation, not because they are not trying to bring themselves out of such situation, but then the society. But anyway, I just want you to know that God's will for you is not poverty. As long as God is sitting on that throne, as long as God still reigns, you can be rich, but you need wisdom. You need to go back to God and tell Him, okay, God, what can I do? What can I do to get this wealth you're talking about? What can I do? Look at Job in the Bible. Job was a lover of God, but he was wealthy. Go and check out Job's story. You understand what I'm saying? Job was a lover of God. Like, he did not joke with God, but he was wealthy. It is possible for you to be like Job. It is possible for you to be like Job. Now, the second thing I want to tell you about God's will is that God's will for you is not sickness. Like, God's will for you is not sickness. God has never, ever, ever, ever designed that you will be sick. Because the Bible says that he created us in his image and likeness. Now, as I'm talking about this thing, some people will be like, look at this one. Is she trying to tell me now that she has never fallen sick? Let me tell you. Now, let me tell you. Just few days ago, I had a serious stomach ache. And I was kind of very, very weak. And let me say, almost ill. I won't really call myself ill, but I was really, really dizzy and very, very weak. Now, it's very, very easy for someone to be like, it's God's will for me now. God knew that this thing will happen now. Yes, God knew. But most times, it could be, let me tell you, to be sincere, like, I feel like what happened to me last week was because I ate too much. Like, last few days ago, sorry, was because I ate too much. And this is what many people are going through. Most times they ignore God's instruction. God tells you, do not eat too much. Don't eat this food. And then you want to know why. Why should I not eat this food? Now let me tell you, this journey we are in is a journey of faith. You mustn't always understand God before you obey him. This is the problem of so many people. This is what has landed so many people where they are right now. They want to understand first before they obey. God, if you not tell me why I should do this thing at all, me, I'm not doing it. It's your business. No, no, no. Now let's talk about academics now. Let's talk about academics. So now, is God's will for you as a student failure? Is it? Nah, it is not. God's will for you as a student is not for you to fail. And I know some people might be like, you've never experienced carryover before, that's why you're saying this thing, nonsense. Let me tell you, I've experienced carryover before. Yeah, many of you may not know it, but I've experienced carryover before, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Why? Because I know it was out of my own stupidness. I know it was out of my own laziness. I know it because I refused to pay attention in class, and that's why I had that carryover. And most times, that is our own case too. Now, there are some people that the lecturers may be very, very wicked and will give them carryover. Now, that one is not their fault. But if you know that you are experiencing a carryover, I think it is very wise for you to sit down and reflect and ask yourself, what brought me this carryover? Like, what did I do? Did I even read well? Was I playing when my mates were reading? Was I partying when I was meant to be in class? Was I sleeping at home when I was meant to be in the lecture hall? You should ask yourself. These are questions you need to ask yourself, because let me tell you, it is very, very easy to blame God for our misfortunes. It is very, very easy to blame God for something he knows nothing about. Like, it is totally very, very easy. But most times we fail to blame ourselves. We are always pointing a finger without, you don't even know that as you point a finger to someone, as you point a finger to God, four, they say, are pointing back at you. The more you point one finger to God, the more you always push the blame to someone. Four are pointing back at you. Now let me tell you, God's will for us is perfect. God's will for us is excellent. God's will for us is marvelous. And that's why the Bible says, see what the Lord has done, and it is marvelous in our eyes. God's will for us should be enjoyed. Like, as Christians, we should enjoy this, our Christianity, because we are working in God's will. But most times we end up not enjoying it. Most times we end up suffering because we want to do things our own way. And that is not how it is meant to be. So that is the message I'm bringing to you through this video today. I want you to know that in God's will, you will have security. In God's will, you will have protection. In God's will, you like, favor will just be locating you anyhow. As long as you're someone who is intentional about working in God's will, as long as you're someone who is intentional about pleasing God, making God happy, things will work out for your favor. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understandings. that person of influence that you're always admiring and you're always looking at, God can bring the connection. God can just make you connect to that person in one way or the other that you will even be shocked. All you need to do is trust in the Lord. All you need to do is to be deliberate about walking in God's will for your life. And trust me, if you do this, you will definitely enjoy Christianity. Alright guys, thank you so much for sitting pew to the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, click on the notification button, comment, and if you eventually love this video, don't forget to like it, share this video to your friends and family. I will be coming your way next time again with another so inspiring, educative, God-sent message. So please don't go anywhere. This is still Life Through His Lens.
Oh, you are my star.